Alright, let's check this out. Newsflash, the sudden announcement of a sinister cult. Sup? Bop, 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 bop. Look at his funny little motion tweeny mouth. The art style has really deviated over the course of the production of this series. Like, they were already animating everybody differently and drawing them a bit differently by the time you got to the DLCs of the first game, and now the art style looks really different too. Let's just start at what the guy's saying. There are two topics we wanted to cover today. I can offer you 5 minutes for a couple of questions now. Just the word offered? Okay. Press conference at 1 p.m. on December 7th. They expect updates on the high-profile case, the string of bum deaths. Which are different things, apparently. There's a high-profile case, but no one cares about the bums. That's a that's a who-gives-a-fuck case, apparently. Probably accurate. I appreciate you joining me, Jack. It's nice to see a familiar face. These vultures are after Father's reputation. I convinced the police to release his body today, so we can stop preparing for the funeral. Unfortunately, it'll have to be a closed casket ceremony. The fall has disfigured his face. To the rest of the executive team, I appreciate the offers to take time off to mourn, but we must prove that the International Knowledge Foundation can function without its creator. Therefore, I will continue leading it. All Foundation projects listed below should proceed uninterrupted. Third World Light, Wisdom Interconnected, Rare Talent Fund, CEO EN. Okay. The International Knowledge Fund, which runs Rare Talent Fund. So we're trying to figure out who offered the scholarship thing through the Rare Talent Fund, and it's probably the person who ran the International Knowledge Foundation, who is now dead. So it's not you, but the person that you're going to be replacing because they just died. This guy's name is Jack. Oopsie. We don't have your name at all yet. We don't have the father's name at all yet, because we don't have any names at all. I know we haven't been close lately, but I had to come and support my cousin. Don't worry about the closed casket thing. Your father was the greatest scientist in the modern age, and I assure you his legacy lives on. Is it Nowak? As a family? Also, this is Jack. Whoops. Don't worry, I caught it. Is there a new death, or is it Isaac Nowak? Because it was the Isaac Nowak Foundation, but I think that she's the one who would have offered the cover-up scholarship, since they're covering up for Isaac. Oh god. Okay. Is the family going to press charges against the municipality? Okay, so this is the interview. I am thankful for our police force. It is one of the few corruption-free institutions we have. As the commissioner said, the death was a tragic accident. Why do the police call the cause of all these homeless deaths the Red Curse? There we have a name, the Red Curse. Is there really a demon-worshipping cult? And these are all of our yellow words we suddenly have. It's just shorthand. We strongly believe the deaths are linked to a demon-worshipping drug cult, and we plan to involve experts out of state. I had some water, Jesus. Are you considering any explanations other than connection to drugs? For instance, a deliberate assassination through telepathy? We deal with real crime, sir, not fantasy. Next question, please. During the conference... We don't know his name still. The case blah was a blah blah. The case blah has a strong blah blah. Drug connection. Tragic accident. There we go. Those fit there. We don't have any gray words yet. And I guess we have had a bunch of yellow words, they just haven't persisted into this screen ever. But I think that the Red Curse is going to now be available after this mission, and I can put those in there. But yeah, things selectively make their way into here. They don't give us every word I've ever discovered, which would be a nightmare. Yeah, we don't know the names of the case, and I don't know this guy's name still, so we can't do much with him. We got a whole lot more words from that. Homicide. It's alright. Apparently 9th District needs help, so I've been promoted to homicide lead there. Besides, if this is some drug cult thing, it's definitely out of my wheelhouse. Roy Sampson. Just keep going while we go. They were polite enough to just give us these names now. Roy, get to Sebastian's office immediately and bring these case files of yours. Possum 13, Beetle 4, Cougar 9. Well, don't know what those mean. But apparently those are the ones I have to figure out which of these is which for the cases. I guess we're outside of the police location, so when I go into these offices, I'll probably be able to look at their documents and figure out what these code names refer to. What the hell, Roy? I thought you called this conference. What is old Seb blathering about up on that podium? Are you off the case? What's a bloody demonic drug cult expert? Never heard of it. Alright. So, don't need this one. Whoops. Your name is Ian Worth. I forgot how goofy it is just to fill everybody's names in when they're basically just giving them to you for free. Let's see. So we don't have Jack or Sebastian's last names yet. But yeah, it is funny filling in everyone's names in when they're just like giving it to you blatantly the whole time. Like it's like it feels unnecessary to ask me, but it's because they're gonna make me work for it so much more later on. There's talking about demonic cults and drug stuff. Let's see. Let's check out this office first. I take it these are the bum deaths. I'm probably gonna have to identify these 4 bodies as the missing thing right here. Autopsy table, A, B, C, D. Let's see. Hemorrhage from bullet wounds, murder, unknown, connected to Cougar 9. Blunt trauma to the back of the head. Asphyxiation with a rope. Suicide. December 11th, 1977, December 7th, 1977, January 1st, 1978, and unknown. What does TBC stand for? I know TBD and so on. To be corroborated? Oh. To be determined, basically, I imagine. To be confirmed. That's probably it. So over the last month, there's been 4 bum deaths at least. Gecko 71, Tiger 98, Monkey 34, and Beetle 4. Okay, so we've heard of Beetle 4 before. Beetle 4 was one of the ones they wanted him to bring into that place. This one is Bed C. So Bed C is Gecko 71. Person that got beat up with the back of the head. This looks like bullet wounds. That's probably the asphyxiation. So yeah, Beetle 4 is the one they wanted to bring in, which they think might be... Oh, they think B is connected to Cougar 9. Right, no, that's the one. Yeah, the unknown death. I locked in on the unknown date of death, which is not what I was looking for. Yeah, unknown death, Bed B, Cougar 9. The other 3 murders, you can tell more or less how they died, or the one of them is just identified right here by Bed, so we can tell that one. But B, we don't know what killed this guy. Something's on his neck. Could be a piercing wound, an injection spot. It could be a tattoo. We don't have much more to go on in this location yet. That's a very funny looking, strange seal. What if I had like a... It actually looks like furry art. They were like, what if that one, you know, like the big crow knight, Corviknight, I think, from Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like, what if she had 4 boobs? Yeah. The Allied statues... the Allied States of Hesperia flag. Dear Mr. Walsh, congratulations on becoming Wisdom Interconnected's newest board member. Our next board meeting is in June, after which you'll receive biannual remuneration. Meanwhile, please accept the latest DAK2 computing machine as a token of our appreciation. So I got a free machine that he's maybe never used? No, he's tried to use it, just poorly. So Mr. Walsh is not very good at this. Welcome to the Wisdom Interconnected Network. Please input query. Computer, let me in. Command not recognized. So he doesn't know how to log in. So it's probably Sebastian Dak, not Sebastian Walsh. Because he's the guy who just got promoted, and so he's trying to figure out his login still. Okay. Case name, Possum 13, small canal case, opened December 1st, 1977, led by Roy Sampson, deceased, homeless individual, alias Dirty William. A Dirty Bill. Oh, a Dirty Bill. Haha, because that's the thing. Found in the container at the old docks in Stockyard Street. Cause of death unknown, but clearly connected to Cougar 9. So this is the bed C or whatever. No, that was Beetle 4. But everyone's confused. Everyone's concerned about Cougar 9. So I think it's pretty clear that Cougar 9 is the tragic accident, but that's the high-profile case either way. The high-profile case, I'm pretty sure, is Sebastian Walsh. We know his name now. Sebastian Walsh claimed that Cougar 9 was a tragic accident. The high-profile case is a tragic accident, and then the bum stuff has a drunk connection, is what they're going to try to say. But which one? Possum 13's the one on his desk. It might be that one. Oh, Cougar 9. That's a lot of names. Case Cougar 9, Red Curse cases. Opened July 11th, 1977. Led by Roy Sampson, first victim Luke Brown. So this is the guy that they want to cover up. Him having a drug habit. The Red Curse. Potential witnesses, suspects, Benny Crystal, friend, Hunter Wolf, work. Benny Crystal and Hunter Wolf. That guy's name is Jack. So not helpful. But those people might come up elsewhere. Not in this scene, maybe. Alright, that's the face of the guy. Alright, so this is the name of somebody from case Beetle 4. His body lies on... Okay, we're gonna have to navigate around a little bit more for this. And his death is linked to the Red Curse. He threw it out. Goodness. Case name closed. December 4th, 1977, led by Roy Sampson. Deceased Sir Isaac Nowak, world-famous scientist and philanthropist. Living relatives Elizabeth Nowak, Adam Nowak, and Jack Nowak. Okay, so they're all family. These are the Nowaks. Which made sense that it was probably the daughter of Isaac Nowak, but we didn't have his name yet. So all these names are correct. Not a big test on that in this case. More of a, you've in fact navigated the map test, which we have. We now have every word and every location. This must just be heading back outside. Alright, so let's check back in here. So we need to figure out what beds these are. We know C is not one of the beds, because C is actually labeled. Yeah, so unknown connected to Cougar 9, that's bed B. That's not too tough. Oops. Okay. We just need his name. From the case Beetle 4. This is probably safe to put here. Okay, something's wrong. High profile case, string of bum deaths. How do I look at the... oh, this video. What do you please call all of the homeless deaths? The red curse. We strongly believe that deaths are linked to a demon-worshipping drug cult, and we plan on involving experts out of state. Considering explanations other than drugs, deliberate assassination through telepathy, we deal with real crime, sir, not fantasy. Drug cult. As the commissioner said, the death was a tragic accident. And the tragic accident being the death of you. No. Possum 13. Cougar 9. I'd mixed something up there a bit. Let's see. Let's see here. Possum 13 is just another one. Cougar 9 is, yeah. This is the tragic accident, the one that's not named. Cougar 9 is the first part they're assigning as being the red curse, which is they're saying is a drug thing. So I goofed that up. So Cougar 9 has drug connection. One of these has to be the tragic accident case. Do we need to do process elimination? Because its name is removed? Let's see here. It's a body. Were these all named? No. They're unhelpfully not named. Oh, Tiger 98. Gecko 71. Beetle 4. And none of these are the new death, because the death happened... oh, December 4th. Hang on a minute. It's not older. I thought it was the July one. No, the other one's the July one. None of these are from December 4th. So none of these 4 are this person. Yeah. But I was mixing it up with this one. Where is it? Yeah, July 11th. This is the oldest one. So Cougar 9 is not going to be here. And the one I'm looking for is not going to be here. So there's another case name that isn't any of these. Cougar, Gecko, Tiger, Beetle, Monkey. Possum. Cougar, Tiger, Gecko, Monkey, Beetle, Possum. Possum's all that's left, but isn't Possum over here? Don't we know Possum? Possum's December 1st, Roy Sampson. Which no one cares about either. Is one of these misnamed? The case is open December 4th. That's not when he died. Necessarily. Body release date. Whoops. Okay, I've been misusing the dates here. Well, he wasn't asphyxiated, and he wasn't shot, as far as we know. There's 2 candidates for closed casket. They're Beetle 4 and Gecko 71. Which are in beds C and B. Cause of death unknown or blunt trauma back to the head. He could have been beaten over the head and then fell over the railing. It seems like it would have been a murder, not just a random suicide. They're saying outside that it's not connected to other cases, but it could be connected to other cases. It makes sense that Beetle 4 might be the thing. Let's see, what do I know so far? Yeah, I'm supposed to know who it is by now. I think it might be Isaac Nowak. Where is that? Is it not Isaac Nowak? Do I not even have his name? I only have Nowak? Yeah, it is the K. Let's see if I can piece together some more. New Wells police scheduled a press conference to announce that somebody had been the victim of the red curse. Before the conference, blah 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 a Jesus Christ something in a computer. As a result, during the conference, blah blah declared that blah blah had been the victim of blah blah blah. Drug cult? Okay, okay, Isaac is here. Isaac Nowak. These names might... Well, I might be wrong about which part I'm on. Let's see, let's do Isaac Nowak. I had not sorted it. Given how complicated the layout is, I might as well just auto-sort, honestly, but whatever. Okay, so this is Isaac Nowak from the case Beetle 4. Body lies in table B. His death is linked to the red curse. Then it's Beetle 4. There we go. They're calling Beetle 4 a tragic accident, which is Isaac Nowak. They're calling Cougar 9 a having a drug connection. They were saying that Isaac Nowak was a victim of the red curse. As a result, something says blah 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 blah. See if I can figure out what like is it like the gifts or whatever in the promotion. New board member. Board position. Walsh, that's probably what they're going for. Board position. So it sounds like the guy out front was supposed to talk about this stuff, and then he got replaced by Sebastian Walsh. Yeah. It's the group offered Sebastian Walsh a board position and a computer. And then Sebastian Walsh declared that somebody had been the victim of a drug cult. Let's see. What do I call this? Adam, Benny, and bit of Crystal. These are a lot of names I have access to. So who offered him the promotion? Wisdom Interconnected News Board member. Wisdom Interconnected is run by you, right? Wisdom Interconnected is run by the same people as Rare Talent Fund, so it's run by her. Thankfully, you can even drag stuff directly from here. So Elizabeth Nowak offered Sebastian Walsh a board position. Okay, that's what it is. They connected it to a drug cult, but then she gave him a board position, and so he's going to call it a tragic accident. That's the words I'm trying to look for here. That makes more sense. Drug. Is cult not a word? Okay, so no, it's just the red curse. Got it. It all makes sense. I had it sort of in my head, but I just like was getting so lost in the details that I was getting disoriented about where I'm trying to go here. So tragic accident. I got it backwards again. There we go. So they connected him to the drug, Isaac Nowak to the red curse, which is what's happening to all the homeless people. But they wanted to separate that from the legacy, and they wanted to keep his record clean, so they used their influence to have it ruled as a tragic accident. Alright, as a result, during the conference, Sebastian Walsh declared that blah blah. Okay, yeah, just need Isaac Nowak in there. I missed, apparently. There we go. There we go. New Wells police scheduled a press conference to announce that Isaac Nowak had been the victim of the Red Curse. Before the conference, Elizabeth Nowak offered Sebastian Walsh a board position and a computer. As a result, during the conference, Sebastian Walsh declared that Isaac Nowak had been the victim of a tragic accident. Got a little stuck for longer than I needed to, just kind of in the weeds of that one. You have solved the scenario. The day the conference was announced, Elizabeth Nowak visited Police Commissioner Sebastian Walsh and offered him a lucrative board commission with one of the foundations she led. In exchange, she wanted him to hide facts about her father's death. Sebastian accepted the proposal. He swiftly promoted Roy Sampson to another position and took over the conference announcements. Got it. And that's the first case. That's the first chapter or whatever overall done, basically, and I just need to figure out how it all fits together here. Summary of evidence. I reflexively clicked on the underlined part from the first game. To Roy Sampson, December 6th, 1977. Beetle 4 has the same affliction as Cougar 9. Strong. So they have a strong correlation there. Beetle 4 and Cougar 9 have the same cause of death. Weak. Foreign substance present for Cougar 9 and Beetle 4. 0. So the guy who fell off the balcony and the guy found in the pipe, neither of them actually had anything in their system. I think I mixed up which person they were comparing them to again. But either way, no one. These people do not have a drug problem. They don't have any substances in their system. I'd say foreign substances present would include nicotine for one of these guys at least, though. But whatever. I guess that was so ever present back then that nobody even questions cigarette contaminants. That's just how everyone lived back then. Like how in the Old West people wouldn't even drink water, they would just drink alcohol because it was cleaner. Cougar 9 notes. Notable places: Benny's Place, drug pushing office. 3 warehouses in the old docks. Farp Warehouse, would not let us in without a warrant. Old Warehouse, decommissioned in 1950, homeless congregate there. Steelside Warehouse, completely empty, with evidence of recent cleaning. Benny Crystal, notable witnesses and suspects. Claims he hardly knew Luke Brown, and they were not friendly. Advised contacting Hunter Wolf, who has a workshop in Steelside Warehouse and offers odd jobs to people like Luke. Hunter Wolf. Unable to find this person. No traces in the Steelside Warehouse or anywhere else in the docks. So 45 A, B, and C. Hello. We'll get to you in a minute. Three names here, but they haven't come up yet. Was it back here in his office? I have a meeting in 45C Stockyard Street. So Isaac was going to 45C. Yep. completely empty with evidence of recent cleaning. So he was going to 45C before he got murdered, and then they completely wiped that place out. There's no evidence of what was even there. So 45C is the real location to be concerned about. Got it. Alright. So we know this is the Red Curse. During a construction yard accident, the body of Luke Brown was found in a sewage pipe afflicted by a strange condition the police named the Red Curse. After a few months later, the famous scientist Isaac Nowak was discovered dead by the Bagman couple. After being contacted by somebody worried that everyone would think blah blah had been a drug user. Let's see. Elizabeth Nowak. Would everyone think that Isaac Nowak? They're nice enough to put the names together on this screen, which is nice. Yeah, cult member, drug user, Red Curse, accident, murder, suicide victim. Because these aren't necessarily... Accident and murder don't correlate as like a phrase, but all the stuff that as phrases are all fit together. Yeah. Let's see. After being contacted by someone, Elizabeth Nowak worried that everyone would think that Isaac Nowak had been a drug user. A few days later, this is down here, right? Elizabeth Nowak offered to fund Brandon, hang on a minute, Bagman, fund Brandon Bagman's tuition in exchange for the confidentially about the fact that Isaac Nowak had been afflicted by the Red Curse. Hours before the conference, someone was offered a similar deal and took it. That's Sebastian Walsh. However, the laboratory investigation found zero evidence that either Red Curse victim had been a drug user, right? Oops. Yay! So all this work to remove from them the reputation that he's a drug user, all this protection, and it turns out that the Red Curse isn't even drug related, although it might still have the reputation of being, so there probably is still worth trying to scrub the record for his reputation if the public believes that it's a drug thing, which they did just have a press conference about that exact idea. Story 2, you say? Is it in this chapter? Interesting. You keep going within this chapter. I was wondering if this is going to like unlock the next chapter when I click on it or not. Shortly before his death, Isaac Nowak went to meet someone at... we're unpacking this stuff. So that place was called Steelside Warehouse. I already put this part together. A few days later, someone connected to the blah blah provoked blah blah into bribing blah blah, who stopped the investigation into blah blah's death. Okay, so it's Isaac Nowak's death. They provoked Elizabeth Nowak into bribing Sebastian Walsh into not investigating the death. Someone connected to the organization. Police station, Benny's place, FARP, street, steel warehouse, construction pit, sewage pipe. Imperial University, Westbridge Manor. Okay, FARP is just warehouse 45A, so that's irrelevant. Benny's place should be irrelevant. It is a gray name. It's Imperial University? Nope. Westbridge Manor? Let's see. It's a shame if it got out that the man who was inspiration to so on, blah blah blah, was a homeless deadbeat. I suggest you talk to the commissioner. So this is the note that provoked it to happen. And there's a little wolf with a bow down here, a funny little man. Let's go back to here and see if the funny little wolf is tied to this location. Westbridge 1, they have a weird thing. I don't see the wolf here. This is called Westbridge. We gotta put it all together here. I don't think we're gonna have much evidence here because it's such an unrelated. This is honestly a really unrelated case. It just happened to find this guy. There's easy work at the old docks. Ask for the locals for Hunter Wolf, Benny Crystal. So Luke Brown contacted Benny Crystal and was sent to find Hunter Wolf, and then was found dead. May or may not be related. Everything else here is just a bunch of random people that have no connection to the rest of what happened. Because they just uncovered this guy, basically. He doesn't have anything weird on him, just has a gun. I'm curious if the funny wolf shows up again. I don't think any of this stuff had them on them. These three might have stuff on them. This is just notes to self. CEO of EN. That's just a note she wrote that she still has on her, because that's her name, Elizabeth Nowak. And these words, none of these words are on the other screen, so it's not these. I think it just has to be Westbridge because there's like nothing else going on. Feels like the wrong stuff is showing up here, wrong pages. What? I guess it's Westbridge University, right? No. Isaac Nowak went to meet someone at Steelside Warehouse. We have the confirmation of that. 45C. It should be this part that's wrong. Because provoked Elizabeth Nowak, blah, blah, blah. These are all two-parters, and it's two or fewer are correct. I just switched these out. So if this was right before, and switching one of them out made it wrong, then it would have gone back to being more than two are correct, or incorrect. Because each individual name is two parts. It's a useful tool that pretty much tells you all your names are correct at that point. If you have swapped anything else out. Somebody provoked Elizabeth Nowak into bribing Sebastian Walsh, who stopped the investigation into Isaac Nowak's death. It's a frustrating, faceless person we're trying to identify, and that faceless person isn't, even if they are on the list of names, we're not being asked to identify them by one of the names. They are just gray. They could be connected to Steelside Warehouse, because that's where he went. Okay, there we go. That makes intuitive sense. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense, because it's not necessarily... The university is not necessarily that invested in this guy's legacy now that he's dead, whereas whoever did this is at Steelside Warehouse Not only did they is it a decent chance that they killed him, but they definitely were doing something illicit with him. And the moment that he was dead, or maybe when they planned to kill him, they scrubbed that location of any evidence of their entire existence. I can take this gilded brass trinket for scrap metal. You have 3 salve for it, and call yourself lucky. That's the golden idol. So, okay. So after the entire story of the previous game, at some point the golden idol completely fell out of public knowledge. People completely lost track of what it was or any of its history. It just became a funny statue people traded around and they didn't know how to use it, and probably didn't suspect that it had a function because it's just a funny trinket, like a golden nutcracker. And somebody bought it for garbage, and it just sat around doing nothing on their shelf because they like to collect things. And we can see here, it sat on their shelf for so long that we went forward into like an alternate history, because the golden idol's existence permanently altered history, and we've now gone into this like wacky alternate history of like technology where now we have like funny we went through the hot air balloon to the dirigible era, and then we've gone all the way to like funny dragonfly helicopters, which is quite the alternate take on helicopters. Technically it might not be alternate history because it was technically always I say like colonial English stuff, but ultimately I believe the setting never correlated with any real life locations. It just really evokes certain ones, but technically I think this was never our Earth and never our country, so it was always an alternate thing to begin with. But whatever was, it definitely looked more recognizable as being a specific location in a specific era at the beginning of the last game. But over the course of the idol happening, it started doing some 1984 shit where people, it let certain people create regimes, and then it makes sense that since that happened, now we're getting to other stuff where it just does not resemble our world anymore at all. And with that, we'll be ready to check out the next chapter. Alright, so chapter 2, The Pursuit. Several years earlier. Okay, got it. Chapter 2, The Pursuit, in which a lost power is sought. So somebody here more consciously knows the golden idol exists, and I'm guessing this will ultimately explain what's up with the golden idol and how it probably is connected to the red curse, since the red curse is not based on drugs. Is the primary takeaway we have is there's a slew of deaths, and whatever the deaths are, they're not being caused by a drug thing, which drugs are probably like a catch-all guess that people would have if they don't know what's causing something, because all the other options would be like, oh yeah, blunt trauma or a heart attack or stabbings and gunshots. Like if they don't have wounds and the other obvious stuff you could check for, then you might be like, okay, well, we'll see how the toxicology test goes and wait that out. But in this case, it's probably deaths caused by the golden idol, so somebody might have used the golden idol on that guy, and then he fell over the railing, or they threw him over to give a more obvious cause of death. But then they actually investigate his body, and it's like, nah, the way he landed, like, it doesn't actually make sense how he died. He fell, like, not quite that far onto these stairs and slid down, I guess, and owie, but, like, it probably wasn't bad enough to explain everything. And it's because he probably got killed by a death ray that comes from a funny statue. Garden Retreat, the Zen Center Rendezvous. So I guess I'll try to make my episode splits happen between chapters, since each chapter is a bunch of individual scenes that are connected to each other. So I'll try to do them each in one go and not split the episode there. And, well, if there's a very long episode, it might be followed by a somewhat shorter episode that, like, averages around 2 hours based on that, because I'll try to keep this clean. But we'll see. You're listening to the Psychedelic Hour on Rock FM this fine Friday evening. This was Bad Rug with their short-lived hit, She Pulled Back From My Kiss. The song enjoyed some success earlier this year, but quickly fell right down the charts. Oof. I used oof in the 70s. They said years earlier, right? But it could still be the 70s. I don't remember if they said the year specifically. Rock, rug, hit, pulled, kiss, fell. Funny amount of verbs and nouns they get from what should be a completely unrelated transmission, but whatever. True, he always was a thief, but did it have to go that way? Before the new dawn, night must fall, I suppose. Credit card, OPIG Inc. The woman's crying. Aw. Stolen property, asset seizure, someone's death, nervous breakdown. Damn. We get a lot of verbs without directly observing them the way you used to in the first game. They've really changed things up. Oh, she's burning something. A passport. Whose passport? We're too late. We don't get a name out of it. She's burning evidence. And she's mourning someone? But there's usually a death in these scenes. I'm kind of wondering if somebody died and she's burying them under the rock garden. It's like, oh, they couldn't be there. Look how zen this whole thing is. Okay. Yep, she has the shoes and everything. This is a heavily themed location. Delay the other two till September. Hi, it's your favorite ex-husband. You'll be pleased to hear I'm finally getting sober. As part of the process, I'd like to make amends with you. For starters, I decided to return that Lankan artifact I took in the divorce. All I ask in exchange is your forgiveness. If you're free on Friday, I gotta bring it then. Let me know. Lankan, like Sri Lanka or something? Although the names don't normally correlate in this game. Is it related to... Is it a completely unrelated relic, or is it the golden statue we expected? This is interesting. Okay, I think he died. I think the favorite ex-husband showed up, pretended to be making amends, but actually came in and was stealing stuff from her safe, trying to load all into the suitcase. And then she might have like shot him or something like that, and he fell down this railing and died, and is now being buried in the rock garden as to just hide his existence. What's with the delay the other two till September? This is the chief auditor from OPIG's finance department. I've been going through your foundation's recent payment history, and frankly, you seem to be robbing us blind. Unless you can explain yourself, you can expect a visit from me on Friday, when I'll have to confiscate your credit card and any assets you brought with it. Oh, what's your foundation doing? Hey, it's me, your trusty colleague. Sorry I've been off radar. I've been keeping my head down at Dragonfly Inn. I'll swing by on Friday with our new pointy-eared friend. Remember, I'm gonna need Plan B rates for this one, not like the other 7. Now that we're parting ways, I also need that passport we discussed. They're burning the passport here. Huh. So the passport was in the fire and the credit card is in our pockets. So all three of these phone numbers are... all three of these calls are potentially tied to things. Delay the other two until September. Check mark. Did you already succeed? Is it already September? Strangely specific, like she has all of her voice messages saved and is not expecting any more or something. Huh. Let's see. That's my current interpretation anyway. She might be trying to hide the body, and then in order to get rid of suspicion, just not have visitors for a while and just let the case go cold and not even let herself become on the radar or the death even be discovered, because he's away from home. The question is whether they have any record of this phone call happening. Although she should probably delete this message as soon as she's done. Alright, numbers 1 through 10, why not? So it's August of 1974. It's just the days of the month and the moon phases, sure. Can we see the moon in the background? It's crescent. On the left, right. So it's somewhere between the 13th and the 20th, because the 13th is half. So it's probably almost the 20th. Unless the date was already given. I don't remember. I have such a bad memory for dates. If you give me dates, I'll forget immediately. That's why it's always more helpful to say, like, 3 years early, and I'm like, oh, dang. But if the game's like 1974, and I'm like, what year was it before? I think the first game gave a lot of dates constantly, and I didn't know how they correlated because I just do not memorize numbers in a sequence and assign value to them, and, like, I can't keep track of a timeline that way unless I'm writing it down. Drawer spray sprayed. Okay, so she sprayed him with the stuff when he was stealing stuff, and then he fell off the balcony and died. So it was probably like meant to be like a deterrent, spraying him with hairspray. Yeah, it's not really like that's not even a good like self-defense thing. Like it's not like, it wasn't a spray with even like bear spray or anything like that. It's hairspray. She's like, ah, stop it! Don't, how dare you! And then he fucked up and died. And she's like, well, shit. If only this could have gone some other way. He always was a thief. But did it have to go this way? Yeah, like that's why she's so broken up about it. This was an accident. Stealing 10,000 mysterious dollars. I don't think that's dollars or yen. It's just this setting currency. Some strange artifacts are in here. A towel. Because an interpretation I was open to for a bit was the idea that he might have just run away. I thought that he might have just run away with just the golden idol, and that might be how the golden idol was taken away. Because there's stuff in here, but this thing is not full, and that's not very full. You kind of expect more stuff. So he might have run away with the golden idol, but I think he might have died from the fall and was buried. City Gazette, eccentric historians Harmony Foundation, there's the foundation's name, receives millions from undisclosed project. Historian in quotes. Bit unkind to her. Safe has been opened. Oh, here's all the contents. So all these little dudes here, which are mostly in that suitcase or on the shelf here. But the one thing that's not in the safe is this statue, which is right here, which I'm guessing is the one that he brought back. He brought back that goofy statue and tried to exchange it, tried to steal everything else when the safe was opened, I guess. Aggressive move. Is this the statue that was next to the golden idol on the shelf? That was just like aging and forgotten. Spray can, hair, pepper. Is it pepper spray disguised as hairspray? Something's going on with these lids being mismatched for some reason. So I wonder what's going on there. But like taking a lid off and popping a blue lid on instead doesn't necessarily explain why it doesn't make it suddenly pepper spray. So the part where the actual thing is labeled as hair makes me wonder what's going on there. I mean, she definitely uses hairspray. I guess she does. I don't know. Does she use hairspray on the wig? It seems she wears a wig. She looks like this, but in the art, in the thing, she looks like this, and it's covered in all the stuff that's here. These pieces of garb. I don't see the wig anywhere though. Did something happen to the wig? Huh. Let's see what we know here. Oh, corkboard? Nope, not ready for that. Nor the story. Let's look at the overview. The events that took place at the on August blah blah resulted in blah blah. Okay. Death. Let's sort A to Z. Accidental death. Harmony Foundation. Did he say what he said? What day he was coming, didn't he? Friday, the 17th. Now we're just gonna call this place the Harmony Foundation. It's their house. Yeah, they have a whole gate here. She's wearing a patch, so I think this is her thing. I believe it was called the Harmony Foundation. Harmony Foundation. So I think I need to see. Someone's death. I guess that works. So this is the vaguest conclusion I've ever seen for a chapter. Might not be all of it because there's an events page, I guess. We'll see. But I don't have names. Oh, we have non-names. I guess those works. Okay. So, ex-husband visited historian. Yeah, nobody has a name. To return a... Is everything sorted? Artifact for forgiveness. During that meeting, the ex-husband suddenly tried to rob the historian. In response, the historian sprayed the ex-husband with pepper spray? I mean, it's hairspray, right? It's hairspray. And then something. As a result, ex-husband fell and did he hit a rock? Is there like a... Oh shit, yeah, the rock's bloody. Uh-huh. Fell and hit a rock. In response, historian sprayed ex-husband with hairspray and then blah blah. There's a rug. The rug is fucked up. It's supposed to be this shape, and that's over here. Oopsie. So something a rug. Pulled the rug? Just incorrect. Outright incorrect. So more than two things are wrong here. Okay. Cool. Ex-husband visited historian to return an artifact for forgiveness. During the meeting, ex-husband suddenly tried to rob historian. Historian sprayed ex-husband with hairspray and then pulled a rug. As a result, ex-husband fell and hit the rock. So I wonder what's wrong here. Okay, everybody was gonna visit on a Friday, so all these people are technically on the board. Hi, it's your favorite ex-husband. You'll be pleased to hear I'm finally sober. As part of the process, I'd like to make amends with you. For starters, I decided to return the Lonkin artifact I took from the divorce. All I ask in exchange is your forgiveness. If you're free on Friday, I could bring it then. Let me know. Maybe he just did bring the artifact back and then left, and he's irrelevant to the entire story, and it's just not him. So this person, yeah, I think I'm just on the wrong path again. This happens sometimes. They really leave you open to these sometimes. So this person probably never arrived because her credit card was not confiscated, although she did stop whoever wanted to do what they did and they died. So it is suspicious she has a credit card, but if anyone else showed up, she would also still have her credit card, obviously. And what I'm missing here is that this passport is burning. So it's probably the third guy. And the other people never showed up, and the other two have been delayed until September. So this might not even be the artifact. It might be a completely different artifact that we don't even see. These are all irrelevant. So she also thinks that the colleague was always a thief, I guess? Sorry, I've been off the radar. I've been keeping my head down at the Dragonfly Inn. I'll swing by on Friday with our new pointy-eared friend. I guess this is the pointy-eared friend, is the relic. It does have pointy ears in the drawing. It's less apparent there. So he showed up with this relic. A different person also brought a relic. I'm gonna need Plan B rates for this one, not like the other 7. Now that we're parting ways, I'll need the passport we discussed. So she killed him and now is burning the passport because it's evidence that he came here and died. Okay, we can fix this. So yeah, it's colleague. This is the colleague, not the ex-husband. Most of this works. They weren't here to return an artifact. They were here to sell an artifact for money. Yep, we're getting a lot closer. What's the right verb here? Exchange? Probably? Exchange an artifact for money? There you go. Colleague visited historian to exchange an artifact for money. During the meeting, colleague suddenly tried to rob the historian. In response, historian sprayed colleague with hairspray and then pulled a rug. As a result, colleague fell and hit the rock. So we were right that there was a dude who came in and tried to rob her, and so the entire scenario plays out as expected. It's just who was showing up with what relic and why was the difference. I made the classic mistake of not incorporating the maximum amount of evidence into the thing. I had one narrative that did fit pretty well, but not well enough because we weren't incorporating the passport. Because the passport being burned is very specific. And if the colleague's not the person who came in, then we don't have a reason to think she would burn the passport, because you think she would still go along with the original plan with that guy, because she was just delaying them. Yep, there's the death. You solved the scenario. The historian's colleague brought her a strange statue, but then began transferring other artifacts from her safe into a suitcase. In an attempt to stop this, the historian killed her colleague. To cover up what she had done, she buried the body and burned the fake passport she had provided for him. That part was apparent. It's funny that just immediately like, oh, she's crying and she's raking her Zen garden in the middle of the night. She definitely put a body in there, right? She just 1000% is burying a body in there. That's the only thing that can happen. Let's see. Oh, hello. There's a character from the first game. Lazarus Hurst. Lazarus Hurst was the leader of the Puritanical Order Party, which governed Albion from 1792 to 1795. Some claim he used a mystical artifact, see Golden Idol, to seize power. Nowadays, this is known to be a myth. Encyclopedia Mystica. Golden Idol. That's an interesting way of listing things. The H for Hearst makes sense for a last name, but I for idol is funny. The golden idol is a fictional artifact said to have derived from ancient Lemuria. Believers make contradictory claims about the idol's supposed function. One popular theory is that it granted eternal life. However, modern historians agree that the idol never existed, and scientists have shown that such functionality is impossible. Grant eternal life, no one thinks this anymore. Modern historians agree, not this one. So no one thinks the eternal life thing is true, but whoever's writing this thing knows that the idol still exists. They don't agree with the mainstream opinion that it's missing. Hello. We have a historian, a colleague. We don't know what the colleague looked like. Can I drag this up here? I don't know if that's the colleague. I think the guy's didn't Lazarus die? I'm not sure. Huh. Do they want me to think this is Lazarus Hearst? That seems a little dumb. It seems like it's probably not the case. Either way, we don't know her name. We can't do much here. I'll just move on.